On the 17th of January 1775, a small party of men from the HMS Resolution landed on an unexplored beach below towering peaks and vast glaciers. Captain James Cook and his men were actually on a voyage looking to determine the existence of what we now know as Antarctica. Cook and his crew charted the island and quickly realised this was not the landmass they'd set out to look for. But despite this, the British flag was planted, a volley of musket shots were fired, and the island was claimed for His Britannic Majesty, with the beach that they landed on named Possession Bay. This wasn't the first time the land had been discovered though, as records claim that the first sighting could date back as far as 1502. However, this was the first time anyone went on land, and James Cook named the island after King George III. Now, it might have been because of his disappointment at not finding Antarctica yet, or it could just be the fact that he was there during some really bad weather. However, James Cook's first impression of the islands left a lot to be desired. He described it as lands doomed by nature to perpetual frigidness, never to feel the warmth of the sun's rays, whose horrible and savage aspect I have not words to describe. A very different picture to the one that's painted today, as South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands attract around 10,000 tourists a year. The archipelago remains pristine and is one of the few places on Earth that Cook would probably still recognise if he saw it today, though it has faced its own environmental challenges.
There was a rodent eradication programme undertaken by the South Georgia Heritage Trust over the last few years. That came to a conclusion last season with an extensive monitoring programme supported by government and our patrol ship, going all around the island, basically checking for rodents. In the next few days we'll be getting the dog team back again, and they'll be working here in the Falklands with South Georgia Government, and it's a collaboration between us and FIG. And we will be doing exactly the same again, putting the dogs on all vessels going through to South Georgia, including our own, just to make sure that we don't have this introduction again.
One of South Georgia's main attractions is the fact that nature is well and truly still in charge there, with countless penguins and seals patrolling the beaches. But what are the future plans for this archipelago at the bottom of the world?
The main goal is always to have world-class management of the island, sustainable fisheries, sustainable tourism, and to look after what is there for the future. Tourism is expected to grow over the next 5 years. We've broke 10,000 visitors last season for the first time. So we're really trying to be ahead of the game on that, and a big piece of work we are looking at is how do we manage that? How do we make sure people are visiting, enjoying it, not damaging it, looking at possible new sites, just looking at impacts of the sites, and make sure that we are visiting it in a well-managed way